Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of the best of the EC stories Artisan edition. Now, of course, everyone will have their best ofs, but there was an art edition, two of them, 2 volumes, and there were, of course, a lot more stories. So this is the collection that combines 1 and 2, I think. I might be completely wrong, that's certainly what I've read. Maybe it includes the Reed Crandall collection as well. I really hope they bring out the Reed Crandall and also Jack Davis one as maybe separate volumes, but I think this is the combination of 1 and 2. It's got 200 pages, there's 27 stories, there's no extras. So there's no extras at all, so there's nothing at the back, no cover, it's all purely the stories. That's the key thing, nothing to do with covers. Now, of course, book if you want the stories as well, I think this is one of the best ones. Best of 75, I love this, sort of an omnibus edition. Now I just want to show it, this one, because of the size, of course. You can see the size is obviously a bit thicker, but this volume you can see it's slightly taller. And it's of course all the original art pages. And we'll just move that out of the way. And you can see there, it's got the details there of 27 of the finest stories ever produced. And I think they're just great. I mean, I'm a mega EC fan. Are there all the stories that I like? No. There's a lot of stories that I think, I wish they'd included this or that. I mean, I love the MD psychoanalysis. Lots of people, well, they don't like them at all. And of course, there's many other stories that were done earlier than the main period of EC. But still, Wally, of course, you've got Al Williamson. You've got a lot of classics there. Every page has been scanned for the original art in colour. And it's just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Now, of course, the big one, the massive volumes are super heavy. Personally, I prefer these. I mean, I'm not saying I don't buy the bigger ones because I think they're just great, but they're not really practical. Most of the time they like sit on the floor. You just can't do much with them because they're so big and they weigh a ton. But this one is at least you can pick it up and you can just study it, just look at it, pick up a story. And the stories, of course, you've probably read 1,000 times before, but it's still great seeing the original artwork. Now, I'm not going to show every page. I never do that. People with moan and say, you don't show the pages. I'm not. If you want to, go and see, of course, an overview or a flick through or whatever you want to call it. This is just a quick saying, I think this is amazing, which I think it is. It's absolutely a must-have. If you've got any other Artisan editions, I think you're going to be buying this one, I'm quite certain. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't come with any sort of introduction. I wish they would always include it. I think a little essay or something is always good, a little bit behind the scenes about where the artwork came from, how it's stored, all that sort of stuff is always fascinating, but they don't include it. Always another major slight criticism, obviously the art is superb, and you can't criticise that, but they always put page numbers here. You see all, and there's all the stories, so you can just see Johnny Craig, Reed Crandall, Jack Davis, Graham Ingalls, you got Roy Krenkel there, Benny Krigstein, I love his work. And you got Harvey Kurtzman, Joe Orlando, only Alex Toth. He didn't produce much for EC. That might be it, I don't know. Al Williamson, I'm looking forward. There's new paperback versions of the Alex Toth books, and I've got one on pre-order. I've got the first of the hardback ones, brilliant. And I never got the other 2, so I'm really glad they're coming out. And you've got Wally there, but they've got the page numbers. I don't know why they bother with the page numbers. There are no page numbers in this book. You can flick through this book. There's no page numbers. So why do they put the page numbers at the front? If they're not going to include them, it makes no sense. Unless you go through it and write it yourself. Page number 25, 34 or whatever. But still, great stories. Again, some of my favourites are missing. But of course, this is what I would love to see more volumes like this as well. But this one, touch and go. I mean, just the artwork is just, look at that. Unfortunately, it never actually says who the artist is. Obviously, you know who the artist is, Johnny Craig. But it's still, at this point, you think, oh, doesn't mention the artist. And it would have been nice maybe a little along the top, brief sort of saying who it was. But I think they're just great. How many Johnny Craigs? Yes, 2. 2 Johnny Craigs. You've got Whirlpool. And it does actually say where they come from. Crime Suspense 17 and Vault of Horror 32, which is always good to include that. But you've got those. Kind of Justice, and I love all this sort of stuff, all the sort of, but it's really super sharp, of course, absolutely brilliant. I love it. I hope they bring out the other ones as well. I say the Jack Davis ones as well. Any artist editions, I think, should be produced as an Artisan. I personally would love to see them bringing out the artist edition and the Artisan at the same time. Because, you know, not everyone wants that massive volume, and sometimes you probably have to wait about 5-10 years maybe for an Artisan to come out, if ever. And it would be nice to see both, because I'm certain there's market for both of them. Not everyone. I mean, I've just bought the Alex Toss one, the massive big late Bravo one, and I would probably buy that one instead of the Artisan one. But it's still, it does get to the point where you think, can you fit more in there? You just get ridiculous. But the artwork is just brilliant. I love it. Just look at, I mean, just classic artwork, and it's just so, the blacks are just brilliant, just really, really sharp. You can really you can put this under your magnifying glass and study the artwork, just the layouts, everything about it, just classic. They're great stories. And I'm not going to say anything about stories because not every EC comic is superb. I mean, some are okay, but most of them, I think, are just consistently superb. I mean, look at some. I mean, this one here, you got the Witch's Cauldron. I mean, pretty good, unless you're not really into that. But it's still amazing artwork, even if it's slightly gruesome. But this one, of course, is the classic one, Master Race. And it's been obviously done, thousands of times, but it really is always great seeing the original art pages. And of course, got the Wally Wood as well. Now, there was the Wally Wood Artisan edition, and I assume I think it came to the door, and I'm certain that was in it. But still, it's great to always have it anyway. This one's slightly odd, Lost in Space, not the series. But you got some blue there as well, which is odd, the way it's been done with that blue. And there's a few bits of it just covered in blue. I don't know why. There's written, that was Weird Science. It says here, silver printed, it's got at the top. But there's a few bits like that. Al Williamson. I mean, the Alex Toss one, I love Alex Toss. And like I said, I'm looking forward to this one, Alexander Toss, as it says there. Just absolutely first-rate artwork. And his stories are always great. And he's got some scribbling out. And that's always quite often. I can't even work that out. No idea. But like I say, there's no extras, which is a pity. At the end of the day, it would have been nice if they included a little bit of additional stuff. But still, 200 pages of some of the best, most amazing artwork ever. I think this is just absolutely superb all the way through, first rate. The only criticism I always have with these editions, and it is a minor criticism, along with the page number, which makes no sense whatsoever. I love the way they've done that as well, the nice strips there. But I always, every single one of my Artisan editions always have got bashed tops. That one seems to be okay there, but always dented there. It's just these soft covers always seem to get, but it always gets dented top. I think I've got about 10 of them now. And I think they've all got the same thing, where they've been, as if something crashes down on them or something in the storage. And it is a pity, but still, I love that. Just the way the panel there, just great. Just a brilliant book, a must-have. If you're into Artisan editions, definitely a purchase. I'm looking forward to the next one. Next one, apparently, I think is the Spirit. The Spirit edition, I'm not certain anything about that. I don't know what the story's in it. No information as yet. Can't even buy it at the moment, or pre-order it even. So, but I really hope they bring out more. I just buy them as soon as I hear about them. I will get this one or any other ones. So, great, brilliant volume, best of EC stories, Artisan edition, just come out. So definitely get it, because of course, as always with these things, once they go out of print, they go for crazy prices after that. So totally recommended.